Boom! What's going on, everyone? It's Steve Larsen, and today I'm going to share with you guys how I was able to make the transition from employee to entrepreneur boss.
I've spent the last 4 years learning from the most brilliant marketers today. And now I've left my 9-to-5 to take the plunge and build my $1 million business. The real question is, how will I do it without VC funding or debt, completely from scratch? This podcast is here to give you the answer. Join me and follow along as I learn, apply, and share marketing strategies to grow my online business using only today's best internet sales funnels. My name is Steve Larsen, and welcome to Sales Funnel Radio.
What's up, guys? Hey, so as I started getting ready to make the jump, I want to talk to you guys real quick about something that was really, it was hard for me, okay? It was challenging for me to, it was my biggest fear, okay? I remember there was one of my buddies I was talking to, it was well before I left, but I told him, I was like, I think I need to leave my 9-to-5, you know? So you can apply this to yourself regardless of what you do, right? And I was like, okay, I gotta go, and I gotta think about, I gotta think about how I'm gonna handle this. And he goes, well, what is your biggest fear? And I said, my biggest fear, he's like, I mean, are you gonna make enough money? Like, what is the fear? And I said, no, it's actually, my fear is not about the revenue. I know I've been a part of a lot of these funnel things now and launched enough kind of on the side while I've been here. I think I got that part. Not to say that I'm amazing, you know, anyway, you get what I'm saying. The part that is freaking me out the most, and the part, I was like, dude, the part that's freaking me out the most is that I'm going to be sitting by myself alone looking at a wall with no one to crack a whip. You know what I mean? I said, I'm going to be sitting there and I'm going to be sitting literally by myself in an isolated room. You know, I'm in this environment. There's energy here. There's people running around over the place. There's, hey, let's get this and let's do that, right? And there's this, and so even if there was a day when I felt like kind of like, you know, like, oh, I'm kind of tired, you know, I don't know if I want to do this right now. I still had other people and other processes and things in place to pull me along and to hold me accountable. And I said the thing that was freaking me out the most when I left was I'm not going to have that, right? And so and I was talking to my wife about this, all right? I was like, you know, the biggest fear I have is, do I have the discipline to continue to show up every day like I'm going to war, right? Do I have the discipline to show up day in and day out, to show up and act like, okay, today the goal is to make a sale. You know what I mean? Yeah, I could distract do I have the discipline to just do revenue generating activities and not get distracted by things that are easier when I want, you know, instead of like going in and trying to make the sale, what's more comfy for me? You know what I mean? You guys know what I'm talking about? Like being around other people. So what I want to do real quick, so I just want to share, this is going to be a fast episode, but I just want to share with you guys how I'm able to go in and stay structured, okay? Personally, from day in and day out like this. Now, I am not perfect like this, and I don't want you to think that I am. I'm not. It's funny, I really only listen to like 2 or 3 people. I listen to Russell Brunson's stuff. I learned marketing from him. I learned business structures from Alex Sharfin. And I listen more about closing and what to do with cash when you have it from a lot of Grant Cardone stuff. And those are kind of my 3. That's about all I listen to. Sometimes I listen to some Pat Flynn on Smart Passive Income, his podcast. That was one of the first shows I ever listened to that started teaching me about this world. And anyway, so there's a few people I listen to, but really it's them. Right? And which gurus did they learn from? Which books did they study? Which courses did they go to learn how to be where they are? Right? So when I'm done like diving through all their stuff, I just go the next level deeper with them. And that's kind of how I make sure I put the blinders on and don't get distracted with my education. And so it's just been kind of cool. So this was a serious fear of mine though, right? When I leave, how will I maintain discipline? Will I? You know, and it's funny now, like thinking about it, but you know, that was 9 months ago. And that's kind of a weird thing to be afraid of, but not really. Okay. And funny enough, so one of the things I would teach at the FAT event, right, as the Funnel Hackathon event, FHAT, was this very thing. And funny enough, the thing that people always ask me about after a while, after like the first day and a half, I'd have another day and a half with them. Pretty much every question turned into how do you keep your energy so high, Stephen? How do you stay checked in so often, Stephen? How do you, and I was like, why are you guys asking me this, right? And the first few times it happened, I didn't say that, but I was thinking, I was like, why does everybody ask me that question, right? And inside, it almost frustrated me. I was like, well, you just freaking do it, right? You don't overcomplicate it, you just do it. But it's funny because like, as I started leaving, right, put my mouth in my foot because I realized, oh my gosh, I have the same fears, right? As I started leaving 9 to 5, I was like, holy crap. And so I was like, how am I going to do that? How am I going to stay motivated? So I just want to teach you guys just a few things that I do to keep myself checked in and day out. Again, I'm always perfect at it. No, but I'm like 99%, okay? On certain aspects of it. Other parts, I'm like 50, okay? Other parts, I'm not so good at, right? And I'll get better. But these are some of the things that I do, okay? There was a guy, I can't remember who it was. He was getting a PhD, and what he chose to study was will. He wanted to choose, he chose to study willpower, okay? And he chose to study willpower. In fact, I think I have his book somewhere over there. Anyway, let me keep going here, though. Let me tell you the lesson, though. Here's the overall lesson. This is what I learned from it. Okay, he went in to study and do a PhD dissertation on willpower and what causes humans to have such high will, right? And he ended up getting like depressed about his studies by the time his study was over. Because what he did is he came back and he found out that basically willpower doesn't work. In fact, I think that's the name of the book, Willpower Doesn't Work. And he found out that willpower is like a terrible thing to put your fate into. Willpower is a terrible thing for you to bank your success on. And I thought, how interesting is that? He said the thing that does work, though, is environment. Okay? Think about this, okay? Walk with me for a second on this, okay? If I go ahead and I start saying things like, man, I need to be better. Because a lot of you guys will say that to me when you hear my episodes, okay? Oh, man, I need to be better. I need to be doing this so much better. I need to be doing this. I should be doing that. I need to stop doing those things. I need to stop doing that. Okay, the problem with that is like, it's good. The first step is recognition on what you need to change personally in order to become what you're supposed to be, right? So you got to recognize it, right? Oh, man, I'm going to go be this, right? Oh, look at that. I don't like this part about me. Or I do like this part. I'm going to go change that. Or if I just did this differently in my business, boom. Okay, the problem is that you were literally basing all of those decisions on your own willpower. Okay, it's the reason why, it's one of the major reasons why on January 1st, we all come out of the gate with these massive New Year's resolution goals. I'm going to do this. I'm going to change the world. I'm going to be over here. I'm going to do that. Right. And then by like week 2, we can't even name what the goal was anymore. You know what I mean? Right. He said, so rather than focus on willpower, you need to focus on environment. Okay. And with that in mind, that's one of the ways I've been able to keep such high intense pressure, right? Pressure makes diamonds, baby. I don't want to take pressure off me. I want good pressure, right? There's bad pressure too. I don't want bad pressure. I want good pressure. I want the pressure that creates diamonds. I want the pressure that creates me into a better person. I want the kind of pressure that forces out the bad parts of my character, right? I want that kind of pressure in my business, in my personal life, okay? That's good pressure, okay? But if I just have willpower on it, eventually it's going to get really uncomfortable for me to just out of my own will. I'm the source of the willpower. It's not sustainable. Okay. What's sustainable is environment. Okay. Willpower, you got to get rid of that crap after a while. Okay. It's a good kickstart. But after a while, it's habits. Okay. It's environment. Yeah, and that's what the guy was saying in his study. It has everything to do instead with environment. And so there is a specific place physically that I need to be in when it's time to work out. There's a specific place physically that I need to be in when I'm going to sleep. Okay, it's the reason why I don't do study. I don't do work in bed, all right? You know, like something, I know a lot of you guys will just roll over and grab the laptop and start right there. I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to isolate, okay? There are certain environments where certain things happen, okay, that they should not happen in other places as well. And it's part of the way that I've been able to structure this stuff, okay? Environment plays a huge role. When I walk into my office door right there, I can't explain it. I don't know what it is. I'm on, right? I'm ready. And it's because I've trained myself that way, right? This is my environment to produce. This is my environment to go to war. This is my environment to be a killer, right? It's my environment. And I've trained myself that way, right? I don't sleep in here, right? I don't, right? I mean, I will eat in here a lot sometimes if I remember to, right? But I make sure that there is a specific environment for the core activities of my life, right? Down right below, right. I'm on the second floor of our house right now. Literally right below me is my gym, okay? In the third car garage of our gym, the third car garage of the garage, the third car spot bay is a home gym that I built. When I walk out there, right? I don't know. It's so funny how well this has worked. When I walk out there and I put my feet on that mat, okay, because I got that thick, hard, like a gym mat, and I got a full weight set, all the dumbbells, the bench press. It's a full setup. I got the squat rack, all of it. Okay, I got that dummy. Okay, yeah, Poverty. You guys have seen him. I brought him on here a couple times at different places. It's willpower is no longer what I'm betting on in order to work out. I've already done 80% of the work, which is just to show up and do what that environment is conducive of. Work out, right? It's the same thing right here, right? There are times, a lot of guys have asked me, like, Steven, how do you come up with your podcast ideas? Man, I set up this screen. I got 2 lights right here, and I got this camera, right, on this tripod. And sometimes it's when I'm sitting down with this setup ready, and I'm standing in front of the camera, and I pace, okay, just to do it. I will pace back and forth, and I'll just kind of go like this, kind of back and forth, like, okay, what is it that the community needs? What is it that they've been asking? What is it the things that what's something that I could share to be valuable? I'm kind of going back and forth, and like, I don't wait to set the stuff up for when I don't wait to have all of my ideas in place to set up my equipment. I just set up my equipment, and now I'm in the environment, and the flow starts. Does that make sense? So that's one of the biggest things I could tell you. If your spouse is like, hey, why don't you come work on the couch while there's a movie going? Okay, very few people can sit there and actually be productive, I mean truly, without watching the movie when they're sitting on the couch with their laptop getting their stuff done, right? Very few. It's because that's not the environment that it was meant for, right? Now, when all we had was a couch and I didn't have a specific office, right? Technically, I think this is a bedroom. It's a big one though. Anyway, right? Before I had it, then there was literally the same seat or two in our couch that I would sit. It's the same seat, right? And it was a certain time. It was 5:30 in the morning. I'd get up, and if I wasn't gonna bike in and be in the office at 6 a.m., I sat right there until about 8:30, and I just worked on my own funnels. Okay, that was my environment. Okay, I don't wanna set up. Okay, here's another one. Okay, something else that I do. I try desperately hard. I'm still not amazing at this. Like last night, my flight came in at like 2 a.m. It was ridiculous by the time I actually got to sleep. Anyway, I was flying like crazy over the weekend. That's why I'm so tired. My voice is kind of shot, so I'm so sorry. But anyway, I don't set my phone as the major alarm clock anymore, as much as I can. In hotels, sometimes I can't help this. But I set my phone, if it's the alarm clock, I set it across the room, right? Because willpower, when I'm tired, does not work, right? If that goes off and like, I won't even think about it. There's been times where I've snoozed like 4 times before I've consciously remembered, oh my gosh, I set my alarm for this time because I had to get this thing done. You know what I mean? Right? I don't want to bank on willpower. I'm going to bank on environment. And so I set that clock across the room. Now I have a specific $7 alarm clock that's really freaking annoying. Like that, like I hate that thing. Oh my gosh. But I set it up across the room, sometimes in another room, to get up and start moving, right? Get that blood pumping. All right, sweet. All right, cool. Well, I'm up. And sometimes I'll just stand there. I'll be like, why am I awake again? Oh, yeah, because I got to do this. Does that make sense? Environment. Huge, massive accelerant right there. If you can start to control the environment and the things that you do in those environments, massive accelerant. Okay? And sometimes one of the issues I've found is that sometimes people will try to relax in the same environment that they work in. That's very hard for me to do. Okay? Because when I'm here, I'm going to war. That's my mentality of it. I'm here to conquer. I'm here to dominate. I'm here to get filthy freaking rich and then give it all away when I die to charities. You know what I mean? Like, that's it. That's what I'm doing, right? And that's what solve legitimate, massive problems, right? Provide a huge, incredible value, right? Get rich and solve huge humanitarian issues. That's my goal, guys. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing, right? That's why I'm doing all this stuff. I really want that, okay? But I can't be in a relaxing environment in the same environment where I am trying to do that, right? Where I'm pacing around and I've got vitamin C, caffeine, running through my veins, and I've got trap and dubstep music going through my headphones, and I'm like, and I'm in front of my whiteboard trying to solve something, right? That's hard for the human brain to do. So I just separate environments. That's really one of the major answers to all this stuff, okay? Stephen, how do you stay so productive? It's because I dedicated certain spots to do certain things and not do certain things. You understand? Massive help. Massive help. I cannot do, right, all of my relaxing things in the same place I'm doing my work intense things. I'm not going to eat my meals on the gym mat where I work out, right? You know what I mean? You're like, no, that's crazy. Well, like, shoot, there's certain places we eat meals, kitchen table, right? The countertop, whatever. And that's usually where it happens. We do that with the way we eat. We do that with the way we sleep. Do that with the way we work, right? Do that with the way that you take care of yourself, your self-care, okay? Anyway, so that's one of the first answers I would say is you got to start controlling your environment. If you're like, I've been doing this stuff so long with no traction, you should probably look at your habits. You should probably look at where you're trying to be successful and control your environment because willpower doesn't work. It's all about environment, okay? That's the first thing I would say. Okay, the second thing I would say is that I am not very good at time. I'm just not, okay? I'm not good with time. And so one of the tricks that I noticed, I was doing some trial runs to see if I could handle having a lot of discipline at home. So on some days that we like, I remember there's a Christmas time. It was right beforehand. It was either Christmas or Thanksgiving, right before I left my 9 to 5, right? I was like, let's do a trial run. Do I have the discipline to produce for like 9 straight hours? 'Cause I'm not gonna take a freaking lunch break. That's stupid, okay? I can eat while I work, okay? So I'm gonna get up and let's just act like a normal 9 to 5, right? Or 8 to 5. Really, it's 9 to 6. That's about how long I go. 9 to 6. And there's no breaks. I don't really get up. I get up to go to the bathroom, get water, food, but I eat it all right back here and I just stay at it. I don't know how you guys take lunch breaks. Or some of you guys, you're like, let's go to lunch. Like, whoa, no. No, I'm not going to go to lunch. Anyway, side rant right there. But I'm not going to go to lunch. Anyway, it's funny. How many people ask that? Let me buy you lunch. Like, what if you bought it through Uber Eats and sent it to my house? I'm cool with that. Anyway, I'm not going to go to lunch with you. Why would I waste 2 hours? Not that it's a waste, but it is for me. You know what I'm saying? Like that environment, I'm in the zone. You know what I mean? When 9 a.m. hits, I am ready to rock. And hopefully earlier than that. Okay, but anyway, so the first thing you do, right, environment, because environment is the thing that doesn't work. Okay, the second thing, though, is that when I was doing that trial run on Thanksgiving, I think it was during the Thanksgiving break, so I didn't have work anyways, but I was like, let me do it here and see if it actually works out. Here's what was interesting about that. Because I did not have, I didn't need to be in the chair. I didn't need to be behind the computer. I did not need it. Not that the work always has to be behind the computer, but whatever the work is, because I didn't have a certain time, there was nobody else I was accountable to. So I started noticing hey, yeah, first 2 days I was really good at coming in at 9 a.m. I was really good at coming in, and then it was 9:15, and then 9:20, and then 9:30, and then 9:40, right? And then I would end not as disciplined as well either, right? I'd work up until 6, have a dinner with the family, then I'd come back. Well, I'll stop at 10 so I can get up early. Then I'll stop at 11. Then I'll stop at 12. Let's just push to 2. You know what I mean? Like the schedule thing, I suck at time management. I do. And I'll admit it. I'm not ashamed of that. Okay? But a business can't run like that. You know what I mean? So, Stephen, what do you do to make sure that you stay checked in? Okay, this is one of the tricks that I've used a lot. I have used many times. I actually used to use this in college. I hated doing early morning classes, but I noticed that when I started my classes at about 10 o'clock in the morning, I would do almost nothing from the time I got up to the time my class happened at 10 o'clock. And it was like that for a whole semester. And I was like, what if I chose to do 7:45 a.m. classes every morning? Let's see what happens, right? And I was like, let's check that out, right? And it was a little more painful sometimes, especially if I was a little late on an assignment, or not late, but pushing up to the edge, which is pretty much every assignment, right? And so I would get up at 7 and just haul, right? It's just whoosh, just go super fast to campus, goes flying into class. But I noticed that when class would be over at 8:45, I would make fantastic use of the time since I was already up. I was already awake. I was already doing stuff, okay? But on the days when I didn't have class until 9, I would just sleep in a little extra more, and that was it. And I wouldn't do anything else with the day. And so one of the things that's been really, really powerful for me is this is one of the ways I've stayed really, really productive. This is one of the ways I set appointments early in the day every day. Okay. And if I don't have an appointment, I make sure that I have a sense of accountability to something or someone. Okay. So, and now I'm far more practiced at it. Okay. I make sure, and you guys know I was in the Army for a while, right? And I went in enlisted, and then when I was done, I came out as an officer. And I remember when I went through basic training, there was some guy, he was like 15 seconds late to this formation that we were doing. And he didn't have all this crap with him, right? We were doing something. I can't remember what it was. We had all our M16s with us. We all had our weapons and it's shooting range or something like that. We were going to go on like a 6-day something. Anyway, the dude didn't have all of his crap together, okay? And so the drill sergeants put everybody, it's called the front lining rest position, right? They just go, attention, front lining position, move. And what you would do is you would just go hold the push-up position. That's it, with all of your gear on. And you put your M16 across the top of your hands. You have 2 liters of water on you, 40 pounds in your pack, and you just hold the push-up position. We held that thing forever while we waited for the dude to pack in front of the rest of the platoon. We just sat there, hands shaking. You start freaking out, right? And you're like trying to self-talk, like, yeah, you got it, Larsen, what's up, right? And it's funny because what they teach is like, if you are the weak link, if you do not show up on time, if you cannot get your crap done, you actually are making the rest of the team suffer. They would not make the guy who was late. They would not make the guy who was not packed. They would not make the guy who was late on the run get punished. They would make everybody else get punished for his mistake, right? Now, there's some psychoness to that, if you think about it, but there's some really powerful crap behind that, okay? And it's the state that I try and stay in, right? I got a little bit of a team now, right? We got a virtual system. I got like 6 VAs on my content team. I got other team members that I'm starting to look out for and grab in as well. And if I don't have my crap together, if I can't get my butt in the chair at the right time I'm supposed to, if I can't get the stuff to the people that I need to, I literally am making the rest of the team unable to be successful in what I've asked them to do. I literally set up my team for failure if I do that. That's not fair. That's not fair to me. I'm sorry, that's not fair to them. It's not fair to what I'm trying to get done, and it's because of me and it's on me. You understand? And so one of the things that is super, super helpful for you guys to understand is like, if you have a hard time getting to where you need to be, man, just like set appointments. Be active. Have appointments. There have been times where I've set appointments with people for the sake of having the appointment. That's it, right? Just getting up. Just being where I need to be. The body and mind can handle far more than you think it can, okay? And so when I sit down and I'm like, okay, oh man, I really don't want to do this thing. I really don't want to do that. Or I'm feeling a little bit lazy, like, oh, man, let me just relax tonight. Like, and I can feel myself. I'm not saying I don't relax. I really have been a lot, actually. It's been really cool. I've been very level mind lately. I've been doing a lot of meditating, which has been very helpful also. Using that Muse headband thing, it's been super helpful. Maybe we'll toss the link out to that somewhere. But that's been really, really helpful for me. But what's been cool is by strategically just having a calendar where I'm accountable and responsible to somebody at a certain time in the morning. I don't want to feel like an idiot. And so I get my crap together and I do it. Does that make sense? So you can use, like, if you know, you're like, hey, Steven, I'm really bad at time management too. Great, that's fine. You have 2 options. Get really good at time management. That can take a long time. Or number 2, right? If you're like, man, I don't want to feel, if you're like one of the people who's like, I don't want to feel like I'm an idiot, or I don't want to feel like I'm letting somebody else down. Man, use that fear you have to your advantage and start setting up things in your life to create barriers and create constraints. So I get up, right? I exercise in the morning, right, most of the time, and I was traveling. That's why I got back super late, holy crap. So I did not exercise this morning, but my normal day, I get up, I go and I lift really, really hard, and because there's a future date that I'm preparing for. It's not for another 4 or 5 months, and I don't want to look like an idiot at it. That's one of the motivating factors I have for me for working out every day, right? And I remind myself of that. Oh, I really don't want to do leg day. I don't want to look like a freaking idiot at this thing that's coming up, okay? I'll tell you guys what it is when we move on. But that's what I'm doing, right? Oh, man, like, I've been working my face off. I worked the entire weekend, no breaks. I've been working straight for 21 straight days. You know what I mean? I could take a break. You know what, though? we got people coming over, we got this, or I got an interview that's why I have interviews at Tuesday at 9 a.m. I do on other people's shows. It's mostly for me, okay? To get my butt in the seat, right? I'm doing the same thing, okay? Okay, so I'm giving you several tools to work with here, okay? Because funny enough, if you're just half of it, guys, more than half of success is just showing up. I know I'm going to dominate what I'm going for because most people get too afraid to even show up. If I'm just here, then I'm the only option for people to consume. If I'm just here and I have my product out there, I'm the only option for people to buy when they want to buy something. Does that make sense? The game's really easy now. The game's super easy now. Okay, it's really easy to dominate a space. The incredible, ridiculous lack of discipline in society now, with such an abundance of education, of knowledge, of, oh my gosh, this thing, YouTube and Google, and I can find out the answer to anything I want, literally, pretty much, right? Just by freaking searching it. But then you couple it with this extreme lack of discipline, man, like, I want everyone to change. I want everyone to be like killing it, but if they're not willing to, it's like all the easier for me to just go dominate a marketplace, right? So I'm trying to give you guys a few different tools to understand how I do what I do. Just show up. Just be there. Just get in the freaking seat, right? So number one, willpower doesn't work. Number two, set things early in your day for the sake of being where you need to be. Third thing I will tell you that can help you like crazy, you have got to have a full schedule. You have got to have a full schedule. And if that means you're not like, that doesn't mean always like you're hanging out with other people. You're like, hey, I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that, or whatever, right? But I pack my day, right? And entrepreneurs are not very good at judging how much time it takes to get something done, right? We're not. But I would rather expect and run like crazy to get this list of crap done and get like 70% of it done than to try and, well, I'm just going to be realistic and try and do this one thing today. And you know what I mean? I want to stay hungry. I'm trying to stay hungry. Pack the day, right? Idle time, that's bad. That's bad. Pack the day. Have a ton of crap going on. Keep a full schedule. That's one of the ways that I push so hard as well. There's stuff I've agreed to. I'm not totally sure yet how I'm going to fulfill on it. But one thing I've noticed is that every time I take on stuff like that, I personally have to grow in order to match the opportunity I've been given. And then number two, if I just push hard at it, I never know the answer ahead of time, but I always find it in the middle of looking. Meaning I have to actually actively be walking. And then I find the answers on how to get something done. Okay? Huge lesson to that. Okay? Some of you guys are religious. Okay? I'm religious. You know, right? Moses and the Red Sea, baby. That thing did not start splitting until he was walking in the freaking water. Right? Go back and look at it. Right? You didn't split that thing and then wait for it to go. The dude got wet before it moved, right? It's the same thing. Like, you got to be willing to get uncomfortable in order for your goals to happen, right? There's a level of personal development required, right? And it will be, the level you develop will be the level of your success on the other side as well. And I'm trying to share with you guys little tiny things I've done to help make sure I've been successful along the way. I am terrible at some things in my life, right? And that's cool. Whatever. Everybody is, right? But I'd rather be like, oh, I'm so crappy at this or this. Like, right? You know, like, oh man, let me just take this whip and just whip myself all the time. Oh, I suck at this. Time management, you piece of crap. You got me bad. I can't do what I want to in life. Right? Instead, call out my own crap. Figure out exactly what I can craft around my life to create a positive constraint. Positive constraint. Positive constraint. Okay? Not all constraints are bad. And so when you're willing to submit to something like that, and you learn the discipline to actually execute on those things, man, that's why I'm doing what I am. That's why I can do what I can. Okay? So again, just to recap real quick, willpower doesn't work. It's all about setting up good environments. Okay? These are very simple things that I've done. Number two, if you got a hard time being in places you're supposed to be, set appointments just for the sake of getting there. Okay? That has helped me tremendously. I've used that multiple times. Multiple times. On Tuesday, I have to be somewhere at 9. On all Fridays, I have to be somewhere at 9. Thursdays, not yet, but my discipline's really good. I've been a lot better at that stuff now. So anyways, I work my face off when I finally get there. So instead, what if I just work on getting there, right? Mondays, there's a place I have to be, right, at 9. Wednesdays, I can't remember, but I think that's kind of like a flex time. Anyway, right? So again, willpower doesn't work. It's all about environment. Number two, you have got to set up things to get you where you're supposed to be, even just for the sake of being there. Because more than half of success is just showing freaking up because no one else is going to do it, right? Not many people do it. So when you're the only option, guess what? You get paid, okay? Number 3, you've got to stay busy. You got to pack that schedule. You got to keep it busy. You got to stay full and be productive. I would rather make mistakes of ambition rather than mistakes of sloth, okay? I am not a man to make mistakes of sloth. I will not be that character. There's been so many freaking things that that have not worked out, that I've launched. Who the freak cares? I don't care, because I've been in the act of just being in motion. Okay? Just being in motion causes amazing productivity, causes ideas to come, some people are like, Stephen, you ever gonna run out of podcast material? Stephen, how did you come up with that idea? Stephen, what books can I go read to learn offer creation like you have? Man, I don't know. Those are things that I've learned while in the act of doing them. Okay? Some things you can't learn from a book. Okay? So anyways, just know that those are 3 of the things that I do to stay productive. And my fear of, am I going to have the discipline to stay hungry? And when we make that first 6 figures, which came really quick, right? Same with the second one, right? Last month was really awesome, okay? Am I ever going to sit back and go, oh, you know what? We did really good. That is the scariest mentality. Oh my gosh, I am fighting complacency. I'm doing everything I can to not get complacent, okay? I can find great funnel builders. I can find great copywriters. I can find and train good marketers. I can find and train. You can learn how to do a lot of stuff. I can teach you how to do a lot of stuff. People who've been down past, they can teach you how to do a lot of stuff. The thing that nobody can teach you that you've got to get serious about is hunger, okay? How can you stay hungry? And it's challenging at first, and you're not going to find the answer. And you might try like this little tweak here and that little trick there. And you know what Stephen said at this time over here, you know, let's do that over here. And it might take you some time, figure out your own system. But if you are not hungry, I can't have you, all right? If you're not hungry, it doesn't matter what I try to teach you. If you're not hungry, I mean like back against the wall, you're going to figure out a way hungry. If you can't do that, it doesn't matter what you're trying to do. You're not going to make it, okay? That's why I'm trying to go through this episode with you guys, because I've had this shocking amount of people reach out and be like, how do you keep the mentality you do? It's like, well, I just make sure I stay hungry, okay? I just make sure I stay hungry. It's one of the reasons why I could pay myself a lot more right now. I'm scared to do so, okay? I'm actually, like I kind of want to like double or triple how much I'm paying myself right now, but like I'm nervous because I want to make sure that I'm hungry. Will I maintain that hunger? I don't have mechanisms in place yet to maintain that next level of responsibility, right? That's what I'm thinking about. And I'm like, crap, I don't know that can I stay hungry? That's more important to me. There was a product that I was being offered a percentage of, and I said no to it. And it shocked a lot of people. Like, why would you say no to that? And I said, because I don't know that I can stay. I feel like, and I don't think I actually would have, but my fear of not staying hungry is so strong. It's gotten me everything, right? It's the reason why I've done what I have. I'm hungry. My fear of not being hungry outweighs my fear of, I don't know what to say on this podcast episode, right? My fear, right, of becoming complacent, right? My fear of that vastly outweighs my fear of, oh my gosh, I've never done a webinar before and I've never written a script before and it's going to be scary, right? Right? My fear of, oh man, I've never introduced Russell on stage, right? That pales in comparison to my fear of becoming complacent, okay? And I'm begging you to not become complacent. And so these are ways, and if you've gotten squishy and fuzzy and you've gotten too nice of the life and you gotta get uncomfortable. Okay? You gotta get uncomfortable. I try and do something that freaks me out as regularly as possible. And there's a really good quote that I heard. It's from David Goggins. And he said, the worst thing that can happen to a man is for him to become civilized. And I kind of believe that, right? That if I'm not here to be comfy. You know what I mean? It is not an easy task to create a freaking blue ocean. And you're like, Stephen, I got this great product and I got this great offer around it, and I got this great marketing message around it, and I got this great thing around it, but I just don't know. Like, I'm really nervous. I'm really can't, right? And you're not willing to become the character, right? Your blue ocean's you're not gonna give birth to a blue ocean, right? Be willing to be uncomfortable. That's part of the price, okay? Funny enough, though, it's really not that freaky. It's just like riding a bike for the first time, or the first time I was driving shift and driving stick in a highway. You know what I mean? It's like learning to walk. Like anything else, just downplay it because you should, because it's not as scary as you think it might be. Anyways, it was a long episode, but I just wanted you guys to know a little bit more about how I do what I do and the mentality that I'm trying to stay in at all times. I'm trying to stay hungry. I'm trying to say yes to things that I should say yes to. I'm trying to create positive constraint in my life. I'm trying to make sure that what I'm doing with my personal discipline, right, is on purpose. There's intention behind it, right? That it actually is counteracting and adhering to my personal defects, my character defects. I have character flaws. Everybody does. But sometimes people use that as a crutch to like not do stuff. You should use that as a crutch to do stuff. Just create things around it. Create positive constraints and craft success environments, right? Craft, rather than crafting success crafting success this. There was somebody who was they were looking at some people, they might look at celebrities on TV and be like, man, they're so lucky. They're so lucky. It's like, yeah, well, you've been sitting on your freaking couch for years doing nothing with your life. You know what I mean? And you are comparing where you are to that person? How much discipline does that person have that you don't? Right? I beg you to learn discipline. I beg you to get it, right? I'm not perfect at it. I'm really not, okay? But I'm trying. And those are some of the tricks I've used in my personal life to maintain speed, right? And now that a lot of the speed with the business has been set up, I had this massive realization. I was at Sharfin's event last week, and I realized, like, holy crap, I have done so much sprinting and running and setting systems and processes and marketing and revenue and pulling all this stuff up in the business setting. I've been neglecting my own needs on a few things, right? So I'm going to go start lacing those things back in, right? There's no such thing as perfect balance, whatever, right? I believe in obsession. But anyway, so before I keep going on the soapbox, this has been a long episode. Those are some of my tricks, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you guys like this podcast episode, please go rate and review it on iTunes or YouTube. That actually means a lot to me and helps the show a ton. And thanks so much. Bye, guys.
Oh yeah. Hey, obviously a funnel's already dead if you can't even get anyone to opt in, right? So I spent 4 hours teaching an audience how to get high opt-ins, when they work, when they don't work. If you want access to that members area where you can watch those replays, just go to freeoptincourse.com to create your free members account now.